there's been a genocide being live-streamed and televised for the last 2 years in Gaza, carried out by the so-called State of Israel with the support of the American government and our own through the provision of arms. You may have also heard that there has been a ceasefire called, that there's supposedly a peace plan being put in place by the least peaceful person on earth, or one of them, Donald Trump. So in case you're wondering why we're still on these streets despite the fact that there's a ceasefire, it's because while the people of Gaza can now breathe and celebrate a bit, our work is not done. Because the world did not start on October 7th, and this genocide did not start on October 8th. It's been ongoing since the Nakba of 1948, and if you don't know what the Nakba is, you need to go look it up. NAKBA, when 650,000 or more Palestinians were forced out of their homes in order to allow for the creation of the so-called State of Israel. Ask yourself what you would have done if you were pushed off of your land, the land you're indigenous to, so that a foreign entity could come and establish itself. What would you have done? So no, we're not going to stop hitting these streets just because there's a ceasefire. Because we know there's still an occupation. We know there's still a system of apartheid. And we know that their definition of peace is not our definition of justice. So we will keep coming out here and we will keep calling for it from the river to the sea. Now those marching with me, I'm going to do a chant with you. You have one line.
Just so you know, if you guys want to keep marching, then you should march anymore if that's the attitude. Do you want to keep marching? Just hands up if you want to keep marching. So, we're going to go into Flemington Park. So just letting everybody know, any of the elderly people, it will be about another hour of marching, just so you know. We're going to march for about another hour. If you can't handle it, no problem. If you can't handle it, you can take a break. If you need to leave, no problem. Just wanted to give you a heads up. We're marching for another hour. Let the other community know we're here, and then we're going to be coming back. Thank you.
All right, we need to pause for a second and regroup. So those who are ready to march with us, alhamdulillah. I see a lot of people on the sidewalk. You may not have been here when we did the announcements. We need everybody behind the banner. We're not going to start marching again until we see everybody behind the banner. Join the march, please, behind the banner. Please listen to the marshals in the neon vests. We are united. One ummah. Let's show it. Please follow the instructions of the marshals. Stay on the road. Don't block the sidewalk for pedestrians. For those of you who are leaving, Jazakallah khair for joining us. For those of you who are staying, Jazakallah khair for continuing with us. I think it looks like, oh, we have water by the truck. Before we pull off again, if anybody needs a bottle of water, you can please come to the truck and get it, and then you can go back to behind the banner. Are we good? Are we ready to go again? I don't know if it's that I just can't hear you because you guys are too far away from me, or if it's that you guys are tired. But I can't hear you. Are we ready? That was better. MashaAllah. All right. Bismillah. Pause the chanting for a moment as we pass by this church because we're not here to disrupt them if we're in there in service. So I'm going to speak to you for a bit here. All these cars, if you're in a car, I can hear this. It's just going to be a couple minutes. I think you can spare that. You may be wondering why, after there's been a ceasefire called in Gaza, we are still out in these streets marching. It's because the genocide of the last 2 years in Gaza is not the only thing we've been protesting. We've been protesting 77 years of illegal occupation. We've been protesting the apartheid system in Israel. We've been protesting the illegal settlers stealing land in the West Bank, which is not the same as Gaza, in case you didn't know. So even if their plan is for peace in Gaza, which I don't know that it actually is, I have hope because we have hope. But if Donald Trump is in charge of that, I don't know what kind of peace that is. But while we do acknowledge that inshallah We know that our work is not done. We know that we have to keep hitting the streets and keep rallying and showing you that there are people here who don't stand for genocide. There are people here who will always stand against the oppressor with the oppressed. And we will not stop. We will keep hitting these streets, inshallah, and we encourage you to join us. For those of you who have joined from the apartment buildings or have joined from the community, I want to say thank you. May Allah reward you for your efforts. I want to tell you that it doesn't matter if this is your first rally. It doesn't matter if you've never joined us before. What matters is what you do now and what you do moving forward. I'm going to share something personal with you. You may look at me and think that I've been doing this for a really long time. But I'll tell you right now that October 7th is what woke me up. I wasn't doing this before that. I hadn't attended a protest in many, many years. But what happened when they used October 7th to justify the slaughter of Palestinians, and we could no longer deny it because it was on our social media feed continuously, I knew that I couldn't still stay quiet. I knew that I couldn't pretend that I didn't know what was going on. I had to educate myself. And so what you see now is just the product of the last 2 years, not 20 years. So what that tells you is it doesn't matter when you start. It does not matter when you start. You can start today, you can start tomorrow, you can start next week. But everybody has a responsibility. When you see injustice in the world, when you see oppression, when you see genocide, children being bombed, shot in the head, when you see them starving to death, when you see them decapitated, you cannot sit back. You cannot say that I haven't done anything yet, so I will not do anything tomorrow. You need to stand up and join. And now that we've passed the church, I'm going to get you to chant with me again.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuh. So, you guys have understood now, I hope by now, you've understood why we're still on the streets. Is that correct? There is no celebration until... There is no celebration until... And I want to take a moment right now, for everybody listening, I want to educate you on a very important yet forgotten aspect of our lives, and that is our history. Our history speaks loud. Our history tells us that the Nasr, the victory, is near, inshallah. I want to take us back to the times of the Mongols. Look at the times of the Mongols, when the world was in distress, when every breathing thing, every breathing being was being killed and terminated. Bloodshed was worldwide. Yet, what came of that? When no one thought they could stop the Mongols, when no one thought that the Mongols would be stopped, at last they were stopped. And from amongst the children of Genghis Khan, amongst the children, 2 of his sons became Muslim. And from those descendants, most of us probably are here today. So this shows that no matter who the oppressor is, no matter how evil they are, their time will come when Allah will finish them all, inshallah. And from those people will come an ummah that will be able to raise the flag of La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, that will be able to raise the voices of the oppressed against the oppressors, that will be able to stand up for the oppressed wherever they are. I want to also show you and tell you about colonization in and of itself. Colonization seemed to be something that would never end. Every single country that had resources seemed like it was going to be colonized. But today, and I give you the example of Algeria. Today, after 132 years of resistance, Algeria is standing free before us. This is the direct result of having hope, having trust and belief that the land that you were born in, the land that belonged to your forefathers, is going to remain your land, inshallah. So history teaches us that no matter what, we will prevail and the oppressors will be defeated. So when we are here right now in this moment of history, because believe it or not, we are at a change of history right now. The world is changing before our eyes, and most of us don't even see it. We're too busy in this rat race. We're too busy trying to survive that we don't realize the bigger picture, that we don't realize that history is being made right now. The resistance is not out there sacrificing themselves for us to be able to live freely here in the world. No, they're sacrificing themselves so they can get returned to their own land, so their people can come back to Palestine as a whole, from the river to the sea, inshallah. So I want to remind each and every one of you, don't stop your advocacy. Continue to do what you're doing. Whether, and the comment said before, whether you started 2 years ago, 20 years ago, or you'll start today, or tomorrow, or in a week, do what you can do as a minimum and grow. This movement is not just here in Thorncliffe Park. This movement is worldwide. There's only one flag that flies across every single country in the world, and you're holding it right now. You're holding it right now. Hold it with pride. Hold it with the belief that we will all, inshallah, return side by side with our fellow indigenous Palestinians, inshallah.
For those of you in your buildings who can hear my voice, who can see these beautiful flags of black, red, white, and green flying on the street beneath you, I am calling on you now to put on your shoes, go down your elevator, come down to the street and join us, because you don't want one day on the day of judgment to be asked, what did you do when the people were in the streets? Calling for justice, calling for the end of genocide, occupation, and apartheid, calling for the oppressor to be stopped, and calling for the help to the oppressed. You do not want to be asked what you were doing, and you have to answer that you sat upstairs comfortably on your sofa because you couldn't come downstairs and take a few minutes out of your day to join us. I call upon you, please come and join us. So many along our march have dropped what they're doing and they're standing with us now. They are marching in the street because they know something in their heart was awoken. Something in their heart told them, I shouldn't be sitting comfortably right now, not when my brothers and sisters are being slaughtered, not when they're not free, when they're oppressed, when they're occupied. I should not be sitting comfortably. I should come down here, and you should come down here and chant with us.
Salatu wassalamu ala man la nabiyya ba'dah. I'm going to speak to the people, not to the political activists, not to the people who are holding Palestinian flags, but to the people who recently came out, to the people who saw us from their balconies, to the cops, to all the people who may not know exactly why we're here and what we're about. If I had to bet, I would bet that 100% of the police officers who are present here today know about the Holocaust in Nazi-occupied Europe in the 1940s. Do all of you cops know about that? I think you do. But how many of those same cops know about Plan Dalet, when Zionist paramilitary forces killed and forcibly expelled from their homes Palestinians to facilitate the formal declaration of independence by Israel in May 1948, and started a Holocaust which is continuing up till today in the 21st century. If I had to bet, I would bet that 100% of the police officers who are present here today know who Anne Frank is. But how many of those same police officers have ever heard of Hind Rajab? How many people here know who is Hind Rajab? The 5-year-old Palestinian girl who was killed in her car, along with her family members, along with the paramedics that came to save her when she called the Palestinian Red Crescent to say that they were surrounded by the Israeli occupation. 355 bullets were fired. 355 bullets were fired into that vehicle by the Israeli occupation. Now, how many people here know who supplies Israel with their bullets? It is the government of Canada. How many people here know who supported Israel in their foreign illegal military occupation of Gaza and the West Bank, which had started in 1967? Who supported them diplomatically and ideologically? Who supported them with our votes in the United Nations? The government of Canada. So when we take these streets to all the cops and to all the people that decided to come out to see what this is all about, do not for one moment think that this does not affect you, that this does not relate to Canada, that this is a problem 10,000 kilometers away that we shouldn't be considered about because we have so many domestic problems here at home. This is a fairy tale, this is a fantasy, this is as much of a Canadian problem as it is a Palestinian problem, because historically our government has been complicit in this genocide and this Holocaust that is taking place in the 21st century. So to everybody who's asking why we're out here, why are we taking these streets, like my sister has said before, this is something that we've been doing for the last 2 years, but this genocide has not been taking place for 2 years. It has not been taking place for 10 years. It has been taking place for decades with the complicity of our elected Canadian government. So to everybody that's out here today, this is exactly why we're here. We're here to stand against this in accordance with our Canadian values and our long-standing Canadian tradition of working within multilateral institutions to bring peace around the world. In the early 1990s, it was a Canadian, Romeo Dallaire, a former Canadian senator and retired lieutenant general in the Canadian Armed Forces, that led the United Nations peacekeeping mission in Rwanda. There are many more examples of this. And today the Canadian government has decided to be complicit with a government that is committing a genocide in occupied Palestinian territory. And whatever we allow our government to do to other people, they will do it to you tomorrow. So do not for one moment think that this is not a problem that affects you. This is a problem that affects every single one of us. This is a problem that affects every human being with a sound moral conscience. You do not have to be a Palestinian. You do not have to be an Arab. You do not have to be a Muslim to be concerned about this. You can simply be a Canadian that is worried about our Canadian tradition and our Canadian values being undermined by our government's complicity in these war crimes and these crimes against humanity. How many of the police officers here today know that if the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Milikowski, was to step foot on Canadian soil, the RCMP would be required to arrest and detain him based on an arrest warrant that has been issued by the International Criminal Court in The Hague, of which Canada is not only a founding member, but Canada is also a signatory to the Rome Statute. These war criminals are out there today, and we're standing on the street against them. And we're supposed to be criminalized for that, and we're supposed to be criminally prosecuted for that. We've seen RCMP officers reporting us for biometric databases, and they report us and they send this video recording to their lawyers so that afterwards they can see if any of us can be criminally prosecuted for what we said. Do you think this is a good way to allocate police resources? Police resources that are scarce. Police resources that are limited. Instead, let's put our resources towards fighting against these war criminals, enforcing the Canadian War Crimes and Crimes Against Humanity Act, and prosecuting Canadians that have decided to fight overseas along with the Israel so-called defense forces. So we're taking these streets today to remind ourselves and to remind everybody in this neighborhood and in every neighborhood that we go to that we're going to continue to fight for what is right, and we're going to continue to fight until we see a real, true, lasting peace and justice for Palestinians. There can be no peace without justice. So we're fighting for justice not only for Palestinians, but we're fighting for the survival of the human race itself. Because if we're going to tolerate these kinds of atrocities overseas, then they're going to come back home to haunt us over here as well.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. If you've been here since the beginning of the rally, you've probably heard me say that dua 3 times already, to ask Allah to give me prayer speech. When my brother just talked about the fact that they look at us, they try to target us based on the things that we say, to figure out if there's something they can get us on. And so I know I put my trust in Allah that I speak words of truth, and I ask Him to ensure that I'm always speaking words of truth, and I ask Him to give me the strength and the courage to say what needs to be said. This is one of the things that we all need to be doing. You might not be here at the front of the protest on the mic. That's fine. Everybody has a place in their life where they can use their voice to speak out against oppression. You children in your classrooms, you can do that. Everyone here in your workplaces, when you're out on the street and you hear people telling lies and spewing racist comments about Palestine, about Muslims, we have to stand up. Right now, I don't know about you, but I feel like the Ummah is very weak. If you've been hearing about the Islamophobic attacks that have been happening, the man at the hotel in Markham who was beaten with, what are those called? Brass knuckles. If you've seen the images of him, we cannot be weak. None of us, the men, the women, we need to be strong. We need to be proud of our Islam. We need to be proud that we stand on the side of justice, that we stand with the oppressed. This is one of the things we need to ensure. We need to be making dua. We need to be boycotting every brand and product that supports Israel in any way, shape, or form. One of the other things we can be doing is donating to the cause. I have a brother here, mashallah, a very tall brother, you can see him in his neon vest. He's from a charity called Hands for Charity that operates out of Quebec. They have been operating on the ground in Gaza. Our colleagues, our comrades from LP48 have had Hands for Charity at their rallies for a long time now. During that time, they have raised over $100,000 from the people at these rallies. They have built a bakery in Gaza. This is one of the things we need to keep doing, so I'm going to point him out to you. If you can, please donate to Hands for Charity. Any amount that you can donate is meaningful, it's impactful. Make a dua to Allah to put barakah into everything that you do, to put into your money, to put into your donations, so that its reach is far greater than we can even imagine. Make a dua to Allah to keep you firm, standing upon His deen, standing upon the truth, standing up for the oppressed against the oppressor. We are going to head back now, march back to our starting point. We're going to pray Asr Salah, inshallah, in Jama'ah, because first and foremost we praise Allah and we fulfill our obligations to Him. Until then, we're going to keep chanting, we're going to keep the spirit up, we're going to keep the energy alive, right? Because you guys are not tired, right? Yeah, you're tired, or no, you're not tired? No. You guys want to chant, right? As loud as you can, right? As you can, right? Followed by the drummers, followed by our amazing banner holders, everyone else who's holding a flag, who's joined us. Please make sure that you are behind the banner. We're gonna march like one unit, like one strong ummah, inshallah, back to our spot. ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I'm going to address all of the people in their cars right now, probably upset with us, probably wondering why we're still in the street. You may have heard that there's been a ceasefire deal, or maybe you guys support us. MashaAllah. Free Palestine! occupation, which we do, and that maybe you've heard that there's been a ceasefire, a so-called peace plan being led by none other than Donald Trump, a man who doesn't even know the meaning of the word peace. But you might think because there's a ceasefire, we shouldn't be in these streets anymore. And I'm going to address the people in their cars who support us as well. Now is the time more than ever that we need to be in these streets. Now is the time more than ever that we need to show them that their definition of peace is not our definition of peace. That we will not accept anything except total liberation for Palestine from the river to the sea. And until and unless we see that, we will not leave these streets. Get used to seeing us here. Get used to being blocked, because we will not stand idly by while children are slaughtered. We will not stand idly by while our people are occupied, while they live under an apartheid system, while they live in a reality where so-called Israelis can come and kick them out of their homes, steal their land, can contaminate and poison their wells. In case you didn't know, that's what Israelis do. That's the mentality of the people over there. They supported this genocide. They supported this genocide. They've supported the occupation. They stole the land in 1948 and they have continued to steal it. If you don't know what the Nakba is, N-A-K-B-A, you need to Google it. Look up Nakba and learn how over 650,000 Palestinians were kicked out of their homes, forced to flee, some because of massacres in their villages. That is what we stand up against. That is what we oppose. So no matter what peace plan Trump and his cronies have in place, we will still be out here calling for the liberation of Palestine, of Palestine, from the river to the sea.
Okay, hold on, 1 second. There is a fire truck coming. There's maybe a fire in Thorncliffe. So when the fire truck comes, they have the first right away. Get out of their way. They want to get here as soon as possible. You understand? They have the first right away. We're doing what we're doing. When they come, everyone move to the side. Give them their first right away. Okay? May Allah keep everyone safe. If there is a fire, may Allah keep everyone safe.
I will stop if I see the fire truck turning on the street. Inshallah, we will stop. We will make way for it. Jazakallah khair, everyone, for coming out. For those of you who joined us right at the beginning, some of you even before 2 p.m. For those of you who heard us from your cars, from the streets, and came to join. For those of you who heard us in your apartment buildings and came to join, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward all of you. And may He make all of us among the ummah, the people of the ummah, who are of the strong, not the weak. The ones who will stand up when it's difficult to stand up. The ones who will speak out and stand up for the oppressed, even if it harms us. Because we know what Allah expects from us. We know what the ummah deserves from us as we live in this country in relative peace. We have to stand up and be strong, and I pray that Allah makes us among those who are strong.
A journalist named Saleh Al-Jafrawi was killed while reporting in southern Gaza. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Allah yarhamah. Let's read the Fatiha on his soul, please.
Ameen. May Allah forgive our shortcomings. May Allah save us from the tests, the trials and tribulations that they have faced. Ameen. If we face such trials and tribulations, we would probably have already lost our iman. So I just wanted to say something, right? Who here is born in Thorncliffe Park? Oh no, hands up if you're born in Thorncliffe Park. Yay. Hands up if you moved to Thorncliffe Park. There we go. That was the right question to ask. Lots of turnover in this neighborhood, right? Who goes through Fraser Mustard? Hands up. Which of the kids go to Fraser Mustard? Where? Anyone here? What school do you go to? Valley Park? There you go. Who's in Valley Park? Hands up. Who's in Mark Arnault? I am a product of all those schools. That's why I'm just talking a little bit to the children and the youth who are in these schools in this neighborhood. I am a product of this community. I moved in here, I was born in 1981 and I lived in 75 Thorncliffe Park Drive when there was all Greek people in this area. All Greek people. We were the minority. Some of you won't understand what I'm talking about, no problem. This is for some of you. Growing up in this area, we were limited to 75, 79, 65, and 71. Leaside Towers, untouchable. We couldn't go in that area. We couldn't go to any of these buildings. December 25th, you see all these apartments and balconies full of Christmas lights because that's what the neighborhood was. And now it's changed. Things change, right? So, coming back to home, and I love coming back to this area, but specifically, the children that go to these schools, what's gonna happen in 20, 25 years if you still might be in this neighborhood? I graduated from Mark Arnault in 1999. Who's in Mark Arnault? Any hands? Mark Arnault? There you go. What are you doing in Mark Arnault now that will help the future people that come to Garneau? Think about that. What are you doing at Valley Park or Fraser Mustard or Thorncliffe Park? What are you doing there? If you live in this area, what are you doing there here now to better the living conditions and the environment for the people who come here 25 years from now? Because I graduated in 99, it's 2025, 25 years ago. When I was in high school, there was no MSA, Muslim Students Association. There was no Jummah as they prayed there. But we helped advocate for those things for our people to come after us. And that's what you guys are receiving, those benefits. So the message is always to the children, pay it forward. Do something in your community, do something in your neighborhood that will help the future generation. And isn't that what Gaza told us? Isn't that what the people of Gaza taught us? They have taught us, no matter what happens, they utilize the surroundings around them. Whatever they are, whatever their surroundings around them, if they're in the rubble, they will make the most of it. No matter if they have roads that are paved or they're on ground that's full of dirt and they're walking over dead bodies, they will make most of their environment. So don't complain. Don't complain whatever your situation is, the children. If you're in school and times are tough and you're being picked on, don't worry about it. We have to persevere. The people of Gaza have told us, whatever your situation is, if you're a child that's growing up with one parent, if you don't have your mom and dad together, if you've lost a loved one, if your parents are divorced, maybe a parent has died, lots of different family situations. The people of Gaza have told us, how to make the best of our situation, of our environment. And I hope the children, those of you in college, those of you, some of us I grew up with, my uncles, yeah. Some of the people I grew up with that took care of me when I was young, and now you're elder. And now I see the younger kids. It's just a cycle. Make the best of your situation. I know I'm not talking about God specifically, but this is for you children and parents. Don't complain. Life is hard, but the people of Gaza have shown us, again, how to make the best of our situation. That's what I just wanted to impress upon you, God willing. Who else is, who wants to say something?
We have a little girl here that would like to say or like to chant. All right, let's say it. You gotta say it loud. Ready?
If you're Palestinian, make some noise.
Okay, so she's saying, if you are Palestinian, make some
Noise.
noise. Okay, wait for this one.
If you're not Palestinian and you support Palestinian, make some noise.
All right. If you'd like to stay updated, there are a few Instagram pages that you can follow. One of them is Action for Palestine. That's on Instagram. Another one is GTA, the number 4. So GTA for Palestine on Instagram. There's another one, Durham Region for Palestine. And we are going to pray, I believe, where the bus station is over there. If you'd like to pray, you're more than welcome to. And if you have any flags, please put them all over here. We'll be collecting them. Jazakallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. Jazakallah khair everyone for coming out. Please make sure you come out whenever you hear of a protest, whenever you hear of a rally, whenever you hear of a product to boycott, make sure you boycott it. Whenever you're given the opportunity to give back to Gaza, to Sudan, to the Congo, to anywhere where people are oppressed, make sure that you do it. Jazakallah khair. As for charity is still here. For anybody who didn't have a chance to donate, they are on the ground in Gaza, helping our brothers and sisters over there. Donations from rallies like this one have already amounted to over $100,000 in donations. Every dollar, every penny counts. Please give what you can. Ask Allah to put barakah into it, to extend its reach and to make it reach the people who need it. We are going to call the adhan and we are going to pray on the grass towards the street. On the parking lot towards the street, inshallah.